We are looking at my new swatch stick organization over here. I had talked about the fact that I used to have doors on these bookshelves on the bottom, um, and how I had them hanging there, and they didn't work there anymore, and I needed a new place to put them. So what I've done is use a little 1-inch clamp and a chain and connect from the top of that little not dresser, it's not really a bookcase either, shelving unit, down here to my corner of my nail polish work area. And then I have my swatch sticks on these rings that are attached with little clips. So I have them organized by color, right? And they can just clip onto the chain. And they're close enough that I can reach to get the top one there if I stretch a little bit without having to get up while I'm doing my nail art stuff if I need to compare colors, which is nice because that was one of the things that I really wanted. I wanted to be able to have them within reach. So I feel like I was successful in accomplishing that. Today we are going to be, I haven't protected this swatch sticks label yet because this is a new polish and it wore off already, but it's Lyn B Designs Mighty Mac, which is the thermal polish. It goes from, let me see if I can get the focus a little bit better on it. I've got to open my camera settings. Okay. I also bumped this swatch stick while it was drying, so I might end up just redoing it because it's got a weird old notch in the end. I don't know, we'll see. It's a thermal polish that goes from this color when it's cold, right? It's this kind of grassy green with a copper shimmer and blue flakes. And then when it's warm, it has, ooh, praise! I love you, thank you. I'm warming up my swatch stick. Has it really already been a month? I guess it has. Hey, Polar Nights, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm warming up my swatch stick so I can show you the color that this polish is when it's warm. Okay, it turns into this sort of light blue, almost white, but not quite sort of color. So what I'm thinking is base color, Norway, very cool. Thank you for joining me today. That we're going to use this as our base color, and then we're going to do a gradient stamp using a color that will blend into the warm color. That would be one of these, right? We have to see which one of these stamps well. Society Wit Williamsburg Blue, Lake from Zoya, or Who's the Boss from Essie. They're all relatively similar colors. I just need to see which one behaves the best for stamping. And then the other half of the stamp that it will blend with is going to be a color that will blend into the cold color. So these are two Zoyas that are similar, but they have slightly different undertones. This is Ness, which is slightly more blue toned, and Josie, which is slightly more green toned, slightly cooler and slightly warmer. Very close though. So we'll have to see kind of which one of these blends in with the base better. I also, if neither of those stamps well, have Ugly Bottle Syndrome Messy. No, it's called Mojito Madness, and this is actually very similar to Josie. They're almost identical colors, but one of them formula-wise might stamp better than the other. We'll see. And then I also have this Milani, which I have first on it because I have backup of it, and I accidentally started using the backup instead of this one. So Showy Sea Green is the name of that. Wow, the label's really hard to read. Anyway, we just got to do some testing and see which one of those stamps better and blends best with the background color. We also need to decide on what stamp we're going to be stamping with. image plate. And where did my stamper go? I might have put it back in here already. We'll see. So the base color is, you know, copper shimmer blue flakes. As is always my thought, something leafy. But let's see what we have down here. All right. I might have to bring this back just a little bit. Oh no, I can't tip it further than that. Well, I'll just have to move the book up and down so that you can see what I'm talking about. We got a bunch of leafy stuff. We have these sort of leafy designs. I want something that has a similar pattern across the whole nail. Not something like this, right, that has all of the design concentrated on one part of the nail, so that the gradient in the stamp can be seen, right, and not anything small like this. But like, this is my favorite leaf image. We might just use that, but I want to kind of look through and see what else we have. Let's see. We have some more. These are the 3 uber chic lovely leaves plates, which are some of my favorites. The first one I think is still my favorite because especially of that image that I was just talking about that I absolutely love. Oh, this is really heavy. I can't lift it up that long. It's full of metal. Texturally, I want to still be able to see quite a bit of the base color so that we can see the flakies and the shimmer. So I don't want anything too dense, right? Like this one is mostly lines. These ones are some more fall sort of imagery with leaves also. We've got some wood grain images. A lot of these are too dense, so more autumnal stuff. This one is kind of cute with the maple sort of shaped leaves. That one feels more like I'm actually delineating the leaves as that color, though, and I don't think leaves are that particular shade of blue, but we could take creative license. That's not anything. No, that one's too dense. I was thinking that this is like a sort of a sweater pattern, but it's the shape of the pattern is a little bit small for being able to. Well, this one's kind of cool. This one right here. Sorry, I think my focus is too far out to be able to show you that. This one right here. It's also got more open space, but it has leaves. This one feels a little bit more like summer leaves, and the other one feels a little bit more like fall leaves. That's an option. Oh, bummer. These ones. Okay, so it's between those two. The more fall leaves or the more summer leaves. Let me get the plates out. We'll do some testing with both of them and see how we feel. Alright, and then I don't know where my other stamper is. The big one, the jumbo one that I got as a replacement for this one because the body of this one got all ruined. I'm still in the middle of reorganizing my stuff, and somehow that got separated from my stamping stuff, so we're just going to use this one today. It's in a Paween body that has a little scraped up back, so I'm just going to pop out the back so that we can see what we're doing a little bit more easily. And I'm also going to get some tape so that I can clean off the stamper head. Let me get this camera out of my face. We do need a scraper. I already did base coat and all of my nail prep stuff while I was waiting for James to get dressed. So once we do testing, it'll be straight into base color. Okay. Okay, so let's put this back in the body of the thing. The body of this is actually smaller than the stamping head. I am making this work, but it's not ideal. It was not made to go together. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but that's not sticky at all. We're going to have to get a new piece. Okay. This is not the tape I normally use. I have more of the tape that I normally use coming. This tape is slightly stiffer and slightly less sticky. I like the Duck brand HD clear tape usually, but I have Scotch, just plain packing tape today, because that's what I have. Okay, so what we need to do is get a little swatch to stamp on, and that means that I need a little bit. Or we could just do it directly on the Miracle Mat. But somehow I'm slightly averse to that. So here's our lid. Let me adjust you so that you can see. Too much light. The angle of these lamps really makes a huge difference. So finding just the right angle so that I have enough light to work with, but you are not being blinded. See, there we go. That's a little bit better, right? Then we have to bring the focus down. If I can grab it, goodness. There. Okay. We're gonna do 2 coats on this little area. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to paint it on our nails as well. because we know we're using this as a base color no matter what. So let's do that. Okay. This is the nail that is patched right now. It's pretty strong in its patch. I think you're still getting pretty blown out there, sorry. Lyn B Designs is a really awesome brand. They, aside from having excellent polish, which I think they do, they have really good formulas, and the components that she chooses, I just like a lot of her polishes and then her colors and stuff. But she also does a lot of sales. She does 50% off sales every single time she launches a collection, which is, well, I mean, I can't say that like it's every single time guaranteed, but that is the pattern that I've noticed, and it's excellent. I really appreciate it. She just recently did a whole Michigan collection that this is from, Mighty Mac. There's another really lovely flaky polish called Fordite, and one that looks like very autumn tone color. Gosh, I don't remember the name of that one. I do have a little bit of reinforcement on this nail too. When I patched the break that was a break, I noticed that there was a little bit of fraying on the side of this ring nail, so I put a little bit of nail glue and some of that powder over the corner here. You see how it's transitioning, right? How it's almost white down here at the base. I think my focus is a little off, huh? Maybe it's just the light. I was opening an Amazon box. That's how I broke the other nail. I was pulling on the tape and the tape broke. And my hand went smashing down into the top of my Helmer. Alright. That's one coat. Let's see if this is dry down here. Polish drying on a lid always takes longer than polish drying on your nail, because it doesn't have the body heat to help it in the curing process. Hang on, I got a fuzzy up in this cuticle. I guess it wasn't a fuzzy, it was a weird flaky. It found its way from somewhere. Okay. It's a slightly thicker coat. It actually didn't hurt at all. I thought for a second that I hadn't broken anything because it ended up breaking about that much above the quick of the nail. So I kind of lucked out. It was completely non-painful, and it wasn't like the rest of my hand got hurt or anything. It was just my nail that hit the surface, so. Sometimes if there's an especially large flaky that doesn't blend with the other flakies, if you stroke over it, you can kind of break it up a little bit. Sometimes big flakies are good, but sometimes you get too many of the big flakies on your nail all at the same time when none of the other nails have gotten any, and then you're just like, oh, let's edit you a little bit. As promised on the last stream, I did do full cuticle work before stream started. I told you that I could tell that I needed to. Even though it was like passable, there was a little bit of little hangly pieces that looked like they could use a little bit of extra attention. So that was done today, and my cuticles look really nice. So, you know, I'm glad I did. I've been making my own cuticle oil. I just starting this past week figuring out like what scent combination I want for it. I ordered just jojoba oil and vitamin E oil as recommended by several YouTube things. And I got a mango fragrance originally off of Amazon. And smelling it like in the bottle of the fragrance smelled like mango, and I was excited. And then I put it in the cuticle oil and I was using it, and throughout the week, and I was like, my hands smell like cucumber melon. Why does this not smell like mango when it's actually on me? So I went to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and got some other alternative smells, and I'm going to be making some more experimentation on Monday when the other stuff arrives. I got some dropper bottles so that I can. You can't do like if you just mix it in the cuticle oil pen, the concentration of the fragrance would be much too high. If you did, you know, one drip of each drop of fragrance into the cuticle oil pen, it would be too much fragrance for the thing. So I needed bigger bottles to mix it in. And yes, that is some of the stuff that I got on Amazon. I also got more clamps and more chains, and then realized I only need one chain and 2 clamps. And I already had 1 chain and 2 clamps, and now I have extras. So, eh. Oh, were you here when I was showing this? My swatch stick organization to be within reach while I am doing nail stuffs. Alright, so, the palest pale actually is whiter than, I don't know, we'll look at the second coat. We got to look at a second coat and see, because it's looking like the warmest color is whiter than I was able to get it on the swatch stick just when I was trying to warm it up. freaking ants are still happening. They're not happening anywhere that's helpful to the ants, though. Like by the cat food dish or the cat water dish, there are no ants. Near the trash in the kitchen, there are no ants. There are only ants in the bathroom and here by my nail desk, where there is nothing for them to eat. Let me show you again. So there's a clamp down here, and there's a clamp up at the top up there, and there's a chain coming down, and my swatch sticks are on rings that are attached to these little clips hanging from the chain in rainbow order so that I can find my swatches quickly, and they are all within reach. I can reach all of them while I'm working, because they used to be here on the doors, and they can't be because the doors aren't there anymore. And I needed to still have them within reach, so it took me a little bit of thinking and a little bit of plotting. There were several moments where I was standing here in my corner just kind of looking at the area and deep in contemplation, and James looked over at me and was like, "Are you okay? You look like you're deep in thought." And I was like, "Well, I'm thinking." Trying to figure out this problem. And I think that I have satisfactorily resolved it, so yay. Yeah. Problem solving is fun. You were getting pegboard stuff or looking at pegboard stuff at the same time that I was looking for all my cuticle oil stuff. You put some stuff in the cart and I had to wait until you were done. Did you figure out how all you want to organize that part of your studio? The formula on this is absolutely luscious, by the way. I'm really enjoying painting this polish. There we go. This nail felt like it didn't have enough of the slightly medium flakies, so I wanted to go back and add a little swipe. Yay, I'm so glad. I'm going to do a little bit of touch up on the side of this nail. This, when I was swatching it, was between 2 and 3 coats for opacity. And I don't think that most of my nails actually need 3 coats, but I'm just going to look and see if there's any spots where I was a little bit lighter in my application that need a boost. Because top coat will smooth out everything, and everything will look good and even. Okay, that's hand number 1, base color done. And let's go over here. the green color is opaque for sure on 2 coats no matter what. This is Lyn B Designs Mighty Mac. It's from their newish Michigan collection. And it is a thermal. So it's going from this, obviously, green, to like an almost white, bluish, greenish tinted tone. This is a little bit more, like, I just painted these, so they haven't fully transitioned yet, but they're already transitioning to some extent, right? And then we're going to do some stamping over the top. The copper shimmer in here is subtle-ish, but nice. Like, it's on the nail. I think once you top coat it, you'll be able to see it even more. But, yeah, it's cool. I like it. This is the nail with the patch. So I just want to make sure that I cap the tip really well. Okay. I would like to top coat this color before stamping, because we're going to be doing testing in between, and I would rather not bang into something and totally regret everything. Also, I just did a crap job painting that pinky. Get out of there. I was so proud of myself for having such neat painting today, and then there I go on the last nail and everywhere. Okay. That's what cleanup's for, though, yeah? Okay. So let's top coat this really quick. I think I'm going to use the Sage and Citrus Vibrant Vinyls top coat. Just because we're going to be top coating it later, and it's a thinner top coat, and you know, it smells like sage. There's a little bit of citrusiness to it, but not a ton. It's mostly just very, very calming and green smelling, which goes with, you know, the whole design that we're doing. So, you know, there's that. Okay. That was a weird noise. I'm sorry. That was the handle of my little cuticle scoop thing file that I was using hitting the lid of the stamper that I put over there. But I had a collision. Not collusion. Unless I don't know about it. Okay. That's one hand top coat done, and I don't think there's any spots on this hand that need a little bit of touch up like the first hand, because when I did the second coat I was remembering that I needed to be a little bit more generous. Okay, so we have a couple of things to decide. One actually is, are we actually going to be using one of these blues, or should we get a white? Maybe do all three colors. The next thing that we need to decide is, are we going to be orienting the green part of the stamp toward the cuticle so that it is showing up over the light color most of the time? Or are we going to do it the other way so that the green is over the green and you only see the end of the stamp when the whole nail transitions to the warm color? And then we need to decide what image we're using. Because these two different leaf options are both nice. Hiya. Love you too. See, that tape just fell. Grump. Oh. Let's fix it real quick. I'm going to take a drink of tea. I mean, I guess another option would be stamping with just one color so that it looks like it's only showing up on part of the nail and fading into nothing on the rest of the nail. Of course, because there's flakies, it's not going to be completely invisible like it would over something else. Oh yeah, he told me that he saw you guys. He said that he saw something out of the corner of his eye and thought to himself, that looks like Ian's haircut. And then he heard you laugh and said, that sounds like Praise's laugh. And then he turned and there you were. You know, actually, despite it being contradictory to my title, I actually am thinking I might end up wanting to just stamp with one color. Reason being, the last time I did that was with an orange toned thermal called California Autumn Sunset from Necessary Evil, which was a very lovely polish. And even though it also has flakies and shimmer in it, it did have the effect of having it blend completely on the one side. So we might end up just doing that. Let's do a little bit of testing over this. This is dry enough now to stamp over. So let's test. If I were to have my pick of which polish I would want to stamp with for the greens, I would go with either this one or this one. Let's go with Josie first. We're using this little image here on the Uber Chic Lovely Leaves stamping plate. We'll just see how that looks. If it stamps, first of all. It does. But let's see how opaque it is. Where's my... Here it is. I'm not going to do the whole image. See, it totally blends in. That's excellent. I can see it if I hold it at an angle because the light reflects on the stamp, but it totally blends in. It is pretty light though, so over the lighter transition of the polish, it might not show up. Let me zoom in a little bit more. No, I have not decided on that. That's one of the things we need to decide. So you see how it's really pale over the white. So it's possible that the other color will stamp just as well and be slightly more opaque. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Let me get some acetone and my Q-tip. We can try with the other greens. Actually, you know what? Let's do, since Josie's already open, let's do Josie with the other type of leaves. Just to kind of see what color it would give us. Where's my stamper? There it is. I need to clean it off before I get something else. Okay. You see, that picks up pretty well. The opacity and all of that really is, yeah. See, over the green, it totally blends in. You know what? I think that I like that one a little bit better. Just because the lines are slightly thicker, and we're still freaking technically in summer. And I love fall, and I'm all gung-ho for fall, but I've already done 2 fall manicures in the middle of the summer, so I think I'm just going to go for the more springy, summery sorts of ones. I think that was your vote anyway, Praise, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Decided. So let's try the other colors with these leaves. Okay, so that was Josie. Let's try Ness and see how that does, because it's slightly bluer, but pretty close. It might, I don't know how the opacity compares, so let's find out. Oh, I didn't zoom you back down, sorry. That picks up pretty well. You can see that more over the base color. I can see that more in person. It doesn't blend in completely, but it is also more opaque over the white. And it doesn't like stand out against the green. Let's try Off Tropic, because this one is similar to Josie in tone. It might be more opaque though. I think I do want to do the just one color for stamping though. I don't think, because I liked that other manicure that I had on, and now that I know that there can be one that does blend into the base color of this, that's what I want to do. Yeah. That also picks up really well. It looks a little bit more opaque. Oh, I didn't get any over the white. It does blend into the base just as well as Josie. Let's do a second stamp just over the white. It is, I don't know. They both look pretty similar over the white. Of the two of them, Josie is very slightly closer to the base color matching. Let's just do some stamps directly. I want to try warming up. Warming up the base of this possibly, but I want to do some side-by-side stamps over just the white completely so that it has more of a direct comparison. Okay, so that is Mojito Madness. It shows up over white. It's not like it's gone. But this isn't pure white either. It's got the copper shimmer. Okay, and then this one, we're not using this. We decided that it's, you know what, let's do a test though with it after we do a test with Josie, just to cover all our bases. Okay, so that was, whoop, that was the SC, and this is the Zoya. They are almost indistinguishable here. They both picked up really cleanly. Based, therefore, on the fact that the Zoya is very slightly more of a perfect match for the base color, we're going to go with the Zoya between the two of those. So, Mojito Madness from Essie's out of the running. Let's do one with Ness. Whoops, I need to clean this. Hang on, I'm getting ahead of myself. With Ness, which is the slightly more blue-toned, slightly more opaque. Okay. Do you see the difference there between these two then? I feel like I need to have the base warmed up to really make a full decision here. Oh no, oh goodness. I just stuck some tape onto this nail. It's a good thing we're top coating again, because I just pulled at the polish there a little bit. It's not good. It's in the middle of the nail though, so it shouldn't chip or anything. Okay. Hum. Let's warm up this base. It's dry enough. I'm actually just going to press it with my finger. And warm it up that way. there's not going to be very much cleanup, which is good. It's nice. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm tempted to just test it on my actual nail. Is that a bad idea? I mean, kind of not really, because this polish is a joy to paint. If I have to redo a nail, then I can redo a nail. This freaking tape. Stay where I put you, please. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's do one nail with each. Side by side. And compare them and decide. And if I use a cotton ball, I should be able to remove it without having to repaint everything. That is the hope and the plan. Okay. So let's do Josie first. Okay. So that's hard to tell as leaves with the base. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. And even though Ness is slightly different than the base color, I think that it will blend well enough with the base color and provide more distinct pattern in the top part of the nail. Okay, hang on. I feel like I scraped that properly. Yeah, I need to redo that. Because if it works, I'm going to leave it on the nail. I'm not going to redo that nail, right? So I don't want to stamp shoddily just because I'm doing a test. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah. You can tell that that's leaves a lot more on the Ness stamp. It's still super subtle. Let me bring you way up close. It's still subtle. But it's there enough that I can see it. But it still blends into the green at the base. Bring the light over a little bit more. Can you see the leaves at all? I can, but I don't think that you can. Definitely not Josie. It's too light. You can't see the leaves hardly at all over the base. So let's take that off, the Q-tip, the acetone, and we're just going to very lightly swipe across the nail. It's kind of, because the acetone is evaporating, it's making the nail underneath cold. as I'm swiping, so it's actually making it kind of hard to... It's making it blend into the background again a little bit more, because the background is becoming the darker green again where I'm swiping. Okay. I don't think that's in frame. I'm so sorry. Okay. So there's the difference between a plain naked nail and the nail with the leaves. Let me bring you real close. Can you see the leaves now? I can see the leaves. I'm kind of thinking that I might want to use a darker green. Possibly. So that it shows up. Because the white, like I said, that white isn't white. Because it has the shimmer and the flakes in there. So it brings the value closer to the green. You know, actually, we do have one more option of a green in the same color family, and that's this Milani. It might be more opaque. Even more. And show up differently. So, let's test that too. I'm going to take off the Ness. This is one of the reasons that we top coated as well. Okay. And we're going to do that one on the index nail, because we haven't done anything on the index nail yet. I don't even know if this one will stamp. We haven't tried it yet. Let's see.
Helping people invest in. Grinding our brains out.
Okay, let's... I'm just going to test it here first to see how opaque it is.
It's actually just RGBs.
No, that's very similar to Josie. It's not going to show up better.
People really like that.
Hi, Apollos. We're trying to determine what we want to do.
I think it's cool. But
I was originally thinking stamping in the same color over this thermal, so that these two have been swiped with acetone. Ignore their dullness. So that the stamping shows up over this part of the nail that isn't green and then blends into the part that is green.
First instance of lighting damage, you get like a buff for 5 seconds.
And we had several contenders, but they aren't showing up over the lighter part of the blend as well as I would like.
And every time you kill a target, it refreshes the buff. So if there's like a huge amount of enemies and you take lightning damage, you can.
So I guess our other option would be
and there's obviously not always
to stamp in another color. Yeah, it's Lyn B Designs Mighty Matte.
So I have like 2 HP.
I zoomed way down here. You're not gonna be able to see it. Mighty Mac. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and then my gear is based on like grenade cooldowns or mobility.
Let's try some of the. Let's try some of these light bluish greenish colors that I was thinking about doing in the gradient, and maybe have it going the other way so that we're seeing the stamp over the darker tips. and that it
Although they
blends
don't
in
know,
at the top.
quickly enough. But, I want to play Apex. Tell them. Yeah, there's a lot of little tricks and things going on to this build that make it awesome.
This
Ideally,
is
I would have to do
Williamsburg
all that
Blue from
myself,
Society
but I don't really
Wit.
use lighting, so
Make sure my scraper's clean.
otherwise, this SMG is not very good. Well, or it's average, but
Oh my goodness. That swatch stick
yes.
has been abused so much. I'm so sorry, little swatch
PvE,
stick.
I have to grenade myself. I can't have someone else do it. Otherwise, I would have one of my friends do it, and then I would have more of my
Okay, so then we have...
instead of blowing myself up.
This is just going to show us how much it shows
It's
up over
literally
the dark green.
My HP is allocated such that if it's not full when I do it, I die. Sometimes I don't notice that I'm at like 97, and then I grenade and I die, and I'm like, oh.
So we can see that over the darker green pretty well. How does it look over the light color though? Should we sacrifice a nail to test and then clean that one off if it doesn't work too? Or do you think that this would be a really bad idea? I think I'm gonna try it. Okay. Cotton swab.
Or the other one. I think it's installed. I actually think I installed it. Because you're new. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, my friend does that. He's like, gets really like pumped up, psyched himself up to like a good like the fighting game, like Mortal Kombat, yeah. And then he like starts playing online and he gets like destroyed by people.
You can't really see anything there either.
How can you be good at something that you've never
It
done?
blends in with the base pretty well, but it doesn't. If the nail completely turned green, it would show, but it's not going to turn completely green that often. And I kind of feel like it's wasted effort. So then our other option would be to pick a green that is just a darker green to begin with.
Yeah, talent matters in some aspects, whatever, but if you put it in hours, you can master it. It's like
or we could just kind of give up on the idea of stamping and maybe do something else with the color that would blend in a way that is, or maybe it's this design. It could be this design that the design shapes are too small and too, like we were talking about earlier, too close together to be able to delineate the difference between the base color and the image. The last time that I did this, I did a more stripy sort of a design that had more clearly delineated sections of color and not color, so that when it showed up over the opposite color, it was more visible.
Yep. Oh, this game looks really fast.
So let's take a look at my stamping plates again. And give it a try with something else. With a more chunky design. Ooh. I love these leaves, but they're not working. Clean this off before I put it away. Okay. Something chunkier. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so something like this would definitely be chunky, but it's not the feeling that I like. I mean, that's too... It's not uniform enough to look intentional, I think, in this design. This image makes me think of Hollow Knight a little bit. It's got more circles kind of all together, but the shapes make me think of the essence.
Yeah, also this is Unreal Engine. It's really hard to get my exact sensitivity. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I have a tendency to prefer lacier, more delicate images. So I'm having a hard time finding something that's bolder. Oh, maybe this. This kind of spirally leaf. Let me bring this up again. We could test that because it's a solid line altogether as opposed to a more linear leaf. Try that one. Still keeps the leafy tone that I really love, though, right? Yeah. This is the design that I did last time. This.
Nice thing is because this is on I can copy paste settings from like any other game on this engine and it'll be like exactly
sort of loopy, floopy something. We could try that too.
So this is one of those games where double jumping.
Loopy, floopy something doesn't sound pretty, but I think it's pretty. And I had a plate with my stamper earlier.
Yeah, you can straight jump a little bit. So
is it in here?
Direction
one of my stamping plates and my stamper that I prefer are somewhere. And I don't remember where.
Hold Q and sorry not available. There we go.
I mean, I literally just saw them yesterday. They're over there somewhere. All right, so let me see if I can find that other stamping plate just in case there's something good on it. This tape needs to die. Okay, I'll see you later, Athalas. Thanks for hanging out. I don't remember if you said your name was Barbara or Brenda. I think it's Barbara. Okay.
Yeah, looks like a big firewall and then gas it. Like,
oh. Aha! I told you it was here. There's a couple of plates here. There's this one, which is a little bit more geometric.
Q and E need to be rebound.
And this one, which needs to be cleaned off, good lord. But I don't think there's anything on there that really goes well with what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and then stars. So no, those are not contenders. But they're going to stay here where I can clean them off and put them away. And here's the other stamper. That will go with them. We're not going to use that right now, though, because we aren't using it already.
Like, if your left hand is
Okay.
always moving in a shooter,
Okay.
you always want to like try to put things under your right hand. With mouse forward, mouse forward would be better, but I guess you have to think of we don't have those mouse buttons for the default layout.
It's just not as sticky.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it's stiffer. And I don't like it. And I'm ready for my tape to come on Monday.
And this jump light thing
Okay.
should keep and be used as like a third jump.
I have opinions about pretty much everything.
Interesting.
What tape is the ideal tape? I have an answer. Okay, so let's try it with Josie. We're gonna do the spirally
So
one.
the health potion is a channel, and then it's a heal over time.
My spirally one first.
Interesting.
Oh, let's bring you with me. You're just looking at a bunch of cotton swabs. That's no fun. Sorry about the terrible tape noise.
Definitely gonna make fights shorter.
Okay, so spirally leaf.
Oh dang, a lightning one's almost hit stand. That's pretty good. Okay. Oh neat.
Can you see that more clearly than the other leaves? Yes, but this is not the color that shows up as clearly. Yes. Hi, Mom. We are testing our stamping options over
Right.
Mighty Mac, which is based on Michigan, actually. It's from a Michigan collection that Lyn B Designs did. Speaking of Michigan, if Dad's there with you, yesterday when I was making my beef, I attempted to do it in a way that would be as similar to his venison growing up as I could, and I think I did it okay. Like the texture was like pretty much spot on, and it made me very happy. Obviously, the flavor was slightly different because it's beef instead of venison, but I was feeling nostalgic for his delicious meat.
That's pretty cool looking.
Okay, I know it didn't, because, okay, this is a thermal polish, right? So it goes from the green when it's cold to this lighter sort of very slightly blue, almost white with a copper shimmer with flakies in it when it's cold. And similar to a design that I did a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, what I want is to have a stamp that's the same color as the cold color, so that when the polish warms up, the stamp reveals itself. But I need the stamp color to be opaque enough and the design to be chunky enough that it distinguishes itself from the flakies in the base. And the color of the base, since it's not completely pure white, so let's try with Ness. This color is a little bit more opaque, even though the undertone is very slightly not a perfect match for the green.
So
close enough.
I'm assuming it's just more damage or AoE or something?
That was not a good stamp. I realized that my stamper was not clean after I'd already scraped, and it kind of dried a little bit in the stamping plate before I stamped. Okay. Try again.
Yeah.
Okay. We can see that actually. Hang on. Hang on. Let me bring the focus up. We can see the leaves over the base.
There's a ton of gear over here. Invisibility.
I can see them in person as more leafish as well. Let me make it colder.
orange gear, so it's just like almost never gonna see.
Yeah, I know. It's not the same, but it was close-ish. It made me feel, you know, like I wasn't. It scratched the itch a little bit. So it's not. Really, let me. You know what? I've got my air conditioner right here. Let me make it cool. Not quite. I'm pretty warm.
Oh, the earth one can only be used on the ground, huh?
So I'm gonna. Okay, there we go. It's greener. So it blends in on the green side. Okay, but not great. And it shows up on the white side. Okay, but not great. I don't know. Like, when you compare it next to one that doesn't have the design, you can see that there is a difference. Obviously, you are not seeing as many of the flakies, and the whole overall look is more green because of the leaf swirl. But it's not different enough if all of the nails are stamped. Like, you're not going to be able to see it if you don't know it's there. And that's not worth it. It's not worth it. So we're either going to ditch the idea of stamping with a similar color and stamp with something else, or we're just going to leave it at a plain manicure, or we're going to do this other not leafy design. But I don't think that's going to work because it's the same problem. So that's a no for that idea. Or we could do just dots with the color, like a line of dots down the middle of the nail or something. Yep. That's like just a little bit more clearly defined. This is why we put top coat down, so that we can do this and remove it all. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, but then it won't blend at the bottom, and that's, like I said, stamping with a different color. And giving up on the blending idea. Alright, let's see what I got.
There's not a complete little checklist, and it's like, pick up an armor shard, and I'm like, I don't know where that is.
Hats. Do I already have the other ones? Out. Here we go. You have to stamp with cream polish.
What is that? Oh, it's just your blue bar.
I already tried that.
Alright, let's just try it again.
With the super light blue. It didn't show up well enough.
Yeah, probably.
That's the boldest patterns that I have. I don't have a bunch of super bold patterns. Not my preference, and I don't have a ton in that genre. And yes, that was one of my ideas, but there's a little bit in my cuticle here, sorry, that I'm taking out. There. Okay, let's take a look at the colors. You have to stamp with a cream polish. I mean, you can stamp with other kinds of polishes, but alright, so one of the colors that we had was Zoya Ness. Darker. This SC on the Roadie is a little bit bolder, darker green. That would be a possibility. take a look at the more yellow tone greens. The ones we've had. These ones, Mojito Madness, and these are the three that we've tested with stamping. So a little darker would be the Camo Green Oops from Virago Varnish. I don't want to go this route. That's too dark. So we could try that one. And the Essie on the Roadie. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. This one goes here. And this one goes here. Okay. Let me go grab those. I got that one. I just need the Essie on the road. Yeah, it's the lighter it is, it's partly because my hands are relatively warm and I'm not gonna get that dark green on most of the nail most of the time. Most of the time it's gonna be this, where the green is just at the tip. And so it wouldn't blend as well. My Essies are up here. So I'm going to have you come with me over here while I grab it. I know exactly where it is. We do have to shake it though. Okay. These are obviously not quite the same color. Similar. This one's a little bolder. This one's a little bit more muted. My little acetone jug is almost empty, so I need to get another one. Okay. Now, if we're going to be using a darker color, should we try going back to the other leaf pattern? My guess would be no, because this will help it stand out even a little bit more because the pattern is more solidified.
What's that?
Okay, let's try the Camel Green Oops first.
That seems weird.
That's an alright
pickup.
pickup.
It's left over from Alpha. The actual Alpha.
Okay, sorry. I'm testing it on the other hand because I don't want to go over these other ones
Match settings.
with the acetone again. You can see the leaf over the white part pretty clearly. But it isn't. Sorry. Trying to make it cold. It isn't blending into the green super blendily. It is cute though.
The skill points thing is pretty bad. There's no way to see what you're learning really. Other than that, it seems fine.
The SC on the roadie I think might be slightly more blue toned. And I'll try that and compare as well. I think it's still subtle. Yeah, I guess it is. If you're looking at the nail as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay, so these two, sorry, I didn't stamp it on my middle nail because that's the one with the patch. And I want to make sure I don't swipe that with acetone too often. These two are the two darker greens. This one is a little more sheer over the light areas. And I like this one better too. Yeah.
Yep.
It keeps the tone of the green. Yeah. A little better. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is do that stamping just as an accent on the two middle nails so that I get some leafiness, and then the rest of them I can just enjoy the straight thermal. We are going to add more top coat to the other nails though. The ones on this hand because I swiped over the top coat with acetone and kind of took away the shine, and the other hand because then they're all evenly thick. So
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing.
different polishes, even if they are super similar in color, have different capabilities in nail art, right? There could be one green that's that tone of green that's really good for stamping. There could be one green that is that tone of green that's really good for water marbling. There could be one that's really good for dry brushing based on the texture of the polish. Of course, sometimes you get one that's good for multiple things, and then you treasure it. I got a little bit of a bald spot there. I went down a little too far.
Yeah. What? Where are we going?
Okay. The nail that I tested it on is not one of the ones that I want to have this design on, though, so I have to actually take it off.
Yeah, I'm just going straight down. This castle here.
You can't see what I'm doing. Sorry.
Other person here.
Is that all right? Is that in focus?
2 people here.
Okay, love you.
I'm gonna kill him. It's almost dead.
I'm gonna put some chapstick on.
Oh man, there's another guy. Rip.
And by chapstick, I mean lip balm. That isn't necessarily of chapstick brand.
Huh.
This is the pineapple scented lip balm from Lillian's Garden. So I picked up at Polish Pickup. And it smells like pineapple. And it's nice.
There you go.
Do I want to test the other design with this color? Yeah, I think I do. Alright. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to test the other leaf plate that I put away with this other color. Just in case it's better than the one that we're using right now. Okay. Did you change your laundry already?
Yes. Okay. Just the one time.
Well, yeah. Good gracious. Wants to stick to my notebook, but not where I put it. Okay.
Yeah.
That didn't pick up super cleanly. Try again.
Yeah. I'm just going straight down. Yeah.
It's a little better, but still not great. Where's my little swatch? Where did I put it? Seriously, where is it? My little swatch area that I was stamping on. Where did I put it?
People here.
It just totally vanished. Do you know where it went, Bruce? Did you see where I put it? Did it end up in my stamping notebook somehow? No.
trying to get over there?
Boy. Like, there's literally nowhere that it could be.
Oh yeah.
It's bizarre.
He did. The steel pizza stuff.
Okay, well. Let me make sure I don't have any fuzzlies sticking to me.
That's her buddy. Hard to find that.
I'm just making sure that I actually did get all of that green off of my index nail.
Oops.
Okay. Am I sitting on it? No.
Can you catch up? I'm just looking at the armor shards. There's some right there.
That's a better pickup. No, that doesn't look better. Do you think that that looks better?
Yeah.
I don't think that looks better.
Does this do a lot of damage?
So that's a no.
We'll find out. A long way to go, though. One heal.
I don't know, man. I'm not like super stoked about the swirly leaf either. I kind of just want to leave it plain. There. I'm not digging that.
Yeah.
The other idea was to do dots. To do a line of dots down the center of the nail that would blend in with the dark green once it happened, but would be very clearly delineated from the base. It's possible. I didn't see any large leaves with thick lines, though, when I was looking through my plates. I'm gonna do a layer on this snail again.
Yeah, it seems weird. Let's see if I can get him. Yeah. I'm gonna die. Just from that circle.
We could freehand one. What do you think about that? Just as an accent.
That is a long run. Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go back to using the color that does truly blend. And we're going to figure out what we want to do kind of as we're doing it. Let me get my favorite leaf making brush. Where are you, you skinny little dude? I don't see him, but I do see one of the ones I like. Because we want slightly thicker lines anyway.
Here.
Let's do that's not in focus. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I wish the heels or whatever was always in the same spot.
Like that. And then on this nail going the other way. Ugh, my brush is banging into the camera thing.
Yep. Oh, that's the circle super far again. See?
This one here at the bottom, I'm, you know, continuing off the nail. There. I can tell that those are leafy. I'm pretty pleased with that. I do need to thicken up this part of this leaf though, on the tip. That needs to be more opaque, and this needs to be more connected. There we go. There's a bubble there.
11 million miles again.
Alright. Once we top coat that, I'm okay with that. I like that.
Last time, too hot sticking.
Okay, let's do the other hand. I was really liking the leaves with the hollow middles that I did as part of a leaf ensemble in another design. So I'm kind of excited that I am doing them by themselves for this design.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm wearing.
Okay. Trying to make this even with the other hand. It doesn't have to be obviously exactly the same, but it has to feel consistent. Like this line has to get thicker. There we go.
There's things in here. That's okay. I'm blowing it.
Okay, those feel pretty consistent. Let's do the other finger.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a big cat. Hey, big cat.
Fire.
Hey, I found my lid. It was underneath the Q-tips on Big Cat's cushion. Here she is. What a sweet lump. Okay, so then to swoop this the other way. Okay. We're gonna do.
Yeah, they're really fast. Yeah. It's like really empty. Yeah. Yeah. Oh jeez. I don't know. Or a guy just clicked a button. I lost health. Something.
doesn't taper quite the way I want it to. There we go. That's a little better.
Yeah, there's people behind us. Yeah, I think that's what I got hit by. He's like, I don't know how to ping, but he's on the right. They're landing here?
Sweet chunkin', the big one, yeah. She is a sweet chunkin'. I curve the stem. And okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can move.
I think that's all right. The question then is, should I do my thumb also?
Me neither.
Or should I leave my thumb plain? That's a tough call. What do you think? I am of two minds.
It's also kind of hard to tell. Like, I don't really know how to read.
I'm thinking yes.
Really know, like, how dangerous
yes, thumb.
Like, if I can afford to stand near it or not, or whatever.
Look at her butt.
I did something.
Thin leaves? What? Thumb. Oh, yeah, okay. I think I'm going to curve them toward the center like I did with the other ones to keep it Now, when you said thin lines, I was like, but thin lines are what we're trying not to do. How is that gonna work? Okay, there's thumbs. Well, thumb singular. We got another thumb coming. I smudged it, but I didn't smudge it outside of the lines of where I was trying to go. I just accidentally lifted some polish out of the middle of this line, so I'm going to fix that really quick. There. There we go. There's a little bit I can see some of the residual polish from that other polish. There we go. I just need to make sure we're not keeping that around. Okay, and this hand. Again, going that way. A little bit thicker. You okay? And then outside.
Back just in time.
Oh, my other lid fell. Let's make that a little thicker on this side.
I don't know. Yeah, the flight's pretty weird. It doesn't even feel necessary. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to thin that very slightly. I made it slightly too thick on this top side with a little jongle that wiggled where it was not wanted to wiggle. Okay. And then I'll leave going this way.
Might only finding heels. Pretty fun.
And a little dude on the side. Okay, those feel relatively even to me. And apparently I banged the snail too, so let's adjust that very slightly. Okay. Hey, pretty girl. Okay, I did not go around the edges at all before I top coated the first time, so we're going to do that right now just to make sure that we don't have any weird wiggles in the cuticle line. Make sure that everything is nice and smooth. Okay. Second hand. Wolf whistle.
Yeah, I noticed. It's weird.
I like to compare my cuticle shapes on my thumbs after I clean up just to make sure that they are consistent, because my thumbs are not consistent and I can like very slightly nudge one way and nudge one the other way and make them look the same. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
This one tends to want to be more square. This one tends to want to be more curved. So I have to kind of flatten this one out a little bit, and I have to curve this one a little bit.
Highlight items.
And then it ends up looking all right.
Oh, there's people. I just saw a guy like fly through here.
Got a little bit of green from that leaf stem that went down under my eponychium. Okay.
Yep.
There wasn't that much cleanup to do. I did a pretty dang good job painting with this polish, but I also attribute the formula of the polish much of that success. When you have a formula that is going the way you want it to go, it makes your life a lot easier. Alright, so we're going to top coat everybody. What are you shouting for here, Squeaky Squeak? Yeah, what's going on?
Be killed.
She's a sweet patoot.
Yeah. Sure. Either one's good. The only issue with this game so far is like it's clearly an alpha, so there's like a lot of the more nuanced things missing, like the pace of the game. Also, just clarity and like what's happening. Like, did I do anything? Is like pretty hard to read.
She's sweet.
Yeah, but there isn't like really good feedback on like hitting a target just yet.
Apparently, I had a booster there.
Yeah.
And now it is no more, but it is leaving behind some flaky skin. Alright.
Yeah. And then I killed the guy in one hit, all health, and then I don't know why. I don't know what happened.
Second hand.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. Yeah, like I don't think he should have died. They're like right when that started, they were all like around the corner, and like I made like a tornado, and I shot a fire at him, and he just died. Like his health bar didn't move or anything; he was gone. And then everyone else didn't take that much damage, so I was kind of confused.
Okay. After I'm done with stream, I'm gonna eat some caramel low carb ice cream. I think that sounds delightful.
I wish that once I picked where we're going on this map, it would go away so I could keep messing around. Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the like the polished stuff. That's what you get for letting people into alpha development stuff. It's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only part that's like close to done. That wind one doesn't feel very good. Yeah.
Too much top coat.
Also wish like you have like, shoes on, and you're like looking at another pair of shoes, it would like compare them next to each other, you know? So. But yeah, I have to like compare them side by side. Tab. Weird. Yeah.
There's something stuck in my top coat right there.
Blink.
I might have to redo that little section. I'm just gonna swipe.
Blink or dash.
And we're gonna actually repaint that little leaf because there was a big old something that got stuck. You guys probably couldn't see it. I could see it. And it messed up the leaf.
Yeah.
It like was a fuzzy that was underneath part of the leaf and it caught on the brush of the top coat and it pulled through the leaf and pulled the design out of kilter.
Like the blue or purple shoes and stuff, whatever. All like the icons are like pretty similar looking, but they have like pretty different effects. magazines. Same. Yeah. Yeah, compared to like Apex for like the magazines are like different fundamental shapes by default. Like even when they finally added the energy mag, it's like way different looking. But I guess they can kind of get away with that because like in PUBG it's trying to be realistic or whatever. So it has to look like the actual mag. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll come back and top coat it.
I don't think I understand this blink thing.
What are you doing, big cat? Lay your head down in there.
It just like, it says
You're a
teleports
silly
forward, but it's more like a dash. And if you're in the air, it like totally ruins momentum. Yeah, you can go like straight down. Kind of weird. Oh, someone threw something in. Oh, pretty much. This one is a blink. There's like 3 different blinks. Oh, this one's like a real blink. Even better. And there's like, the first thing they're really gonna have to work on is just like complete lack of action for most of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better. Okay. You probably can't tell the difference there because it's blending into the background color because it's turning green there at the tip. But it's better, I promise.
They're probably just trying to collect data. Oh, that hurts. What's that? Oh, I think our...
Okay, let's go around with cleanup brush and then we'll be done. Just getting the little top coat bits off the skin. We're not doing anything too crazy fancy.
I don't think so. I'm in a pretty nice spot. I don't know, I died from like full health.
Okay, there's that hand. This thumb is almost completely warm. Okay, and then the other hand.
Yep. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Okay. All clean. And we are done. Let me close my acetone.
Yep.
And make sure that my polish is closed as well.
That was also like
Alright.
6 years into Fortnite's life or whatever.
So, we need to go
Yep.
see who's on. To possibly
Yeah.
post.
Yeah. It's a cool game. I just don't like building.
Alright.
Other than that, it's pretty neat.
We are.
Yeah. It's the dragon dude.
Let's host Colette. She's playing Super Mario. Working on the 12-hour challenge. So that is what we are gonna do.
So these like subclasses are
And
all
thank you all for
better
hanging
than
out.
starting
I will
ones.
see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, it's not very good.